Welcome back to Phillips Hot Rod Garage. All right guys, we got a hot rod to work on. Oh yeah. We're gonna get you fixed up, girl. We're gonna get you looking good. I've been cleaning shop. Took off last night and just did nothing but clean up. Man, it sure needed it. Working on these old hot rods, it just does not take long before the shop is in a mess. But now we're ready to get to work. So in the last video, we fixed this area right here. The video before that, we got this area done. And the video before that, we got this piece to fit. But the way everything's coming together, it won't be long. This will be done. Now I hadn't forgot about this old flathead project. I'm still working on it. I'm ordering some parts for it this week. So we'll have a video on that coming up soon. But for now, it's time to get started welding up some of these holes in this trunk lid. Let's go ahead and take care of these right here. We'll see if we can get these holes welded up in this video and the other side as well. All right, so here's what I just did. This hole was bent around it, just like this one is, and like this one is. See, they're bent down. So in order to straighten that out, what I did was I just took a couple of flat washers, a nut, 1/4 inch bolt here. Now, if you're ever trying to put a bolt in and you want it to hold in your wrench and not fall out, put a piece of masking tape in there. That'll help it where it won't fall out. Show you how I put it in there. Gotta switch hands with the camera here. You see, you slide the wrench down in there, and look at that. Bolt goes right in, pull it right back out. Boom, look at that. So that did a pretty good job. I just put a flat washer on each side, tighten it down, flatten it right out. So that one's ready to weld up. Yep, another one done. All right, so that little trick worked out pretty good. These two are ready to weld, but unfortunately my copper backer is just too big to fit down in there, so I can get it down in there behind that hole, but not up against it so that I can weld it up good. So I found this little wire terminal, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this from the bottom to back that hole up. I got just enough area right here to weld against. I think that'll work for those two. Now, of course, this one I'll have to do something different, and these I'll have to do something different. But at least on those two, I can make it work, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I think I can take this TIG rod, put that piece of copper on the end of it, use it to stick down in there. So let's try that. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna bend that a little bit. And that's perfect, guys. That'll work. It's time to weld. Oh yeah. Perfect. All right. All right, so I got them welded up. That one's not too bad, but this one, there was a lot of cracks running off the hole, so I had to weld in a lot of different directions. It's gonna be some nasty welds in this area. I mean, there's no way around it. It's just a nasty area to have to try to repair. It would be a lot easier if this little recess wasn't in there, and so I could just put a flat piece in, but I'm trying to save this contoured area so that it looks kind of original. So the name of the game here is just fill them in and grind them smooth. So yeah, it's gonna be a little nasty, but we're just gonna have to get it done. All right, well that looks pretty nice, but unfortunately, I'm just getting started. I got a long way to go. So I want to show you guys everything I'm doing, but unfortunately, there's just not enough time in one video to show every little detail about what I'm doing, especially when I have this many holes that have to be fixed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix the worst ones and show you guys how I'm doing those, but then the ones that are just little smooth holes that all I gotta do is weld up real quick and grind off flat, I don't have to show you guys all the details on that. You guys all fully know and understand how all that works. So I'm gonna skip through some of that stuff, but I'm gonna let you guys hang out with me and see the worst ones. I'll show you what I'm doing on those. So, all right, so I just spent a few minutes trying to hammer this out right here. So now I'm gonna weld that hole up. Then I still gotta come down here and straighten this one out and weld that one up. right, that's looking pretty good there. Let that cool just a second. All right, that's perfect. All right. Not bad at all, not bad. All right, so I got those two done, but they're definitely not gonna win a beauty contest. They're not that pretty, but they'll work. What I had going on was I had a crack coming up this way, I had a crack going this way. Of course, there was the bolt hole, but around it was a bunch of cracks. So I had cracks coming down this way, I had a crack going across there. So the only choice I had was just weld the hole up. Of course, I used this thing behind there again. That really works good, guys. I mean, that was a great idea. But anyway, there was a bunch of cracks had to weld up, so you can't really cut this area out and put a patch panel in there. That just wouldn't work. You're just better off to weld the holes up. I told you guys earlier that this was going to be some nasty welding, but as long as the holes are filled, that's what matters. So as far as this hole, I don't know if I'm gonna weld that up or not. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna hold up on that a minute, and I'll show you why. Here's my other 3, or actually 2.5 trunk lids. And you can see in the bottom of this one right there, it's got that same hole in it. This one, it has that hole on both sides. Of course, it's got a bunch of holes in it. That one's nice and rusty. Look at all this up here. That one's really rusty. Then I got this one. This is the one that came off my car originally, and look at that. That's beautiful. But there's that hole, both ends. So all 3 of these have that hole, so that's factory. So I'm thinking why not just leave it? I mean, it's a factory hole, why not just leave it? Do any of you guys have any idea what those holes were for? I'm gonna leave them, not gonna weld them up. I'm just gonna wait. Maybe some of you guys can leave me a comment, let me know what those were for, because I have no idea. All right, guys, I got this side done. I'd say I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy. I mean, just a little bit of body filler on that will take care of any of those low spots that are remaining. But as bent up and as cracked as that was, and the fact that I didn't cut it out and all I did was welded the holes up, I'm pretty happy. So I think I'll move on to the other side. Really don't see a whole lot wrong with that. All right, so I'm about halfway done with this one. So what I did here was I just took all the metal that was there, bent it back up in place, welded up all the cracks, and got that welded in and ground down. So now I'm left with a void here where the metal's missing and the bolt hole that's got to be welded up. So that'll be easy just to finish that up real quick. Of course, this one, I'm gonna have to make a patch panel for it. But that one, I'm gonna be done with it in just a minute. Alright, so that one's fixed. It's not exactly a world-class repair. I mean, it's not the best in the world, but think it's plenty good enough for the bottom of this old trunk lid. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and make a patch to go right here, fill this hole in. When that one's done, all I got to do is weld these up and this little project will be done. All right, so now I've got all the holes welded up. Got this patch welded in. It looks pretty good. It's just got to be all ground down now. But I found a crack right there. Look at that. See that crack? Did not know that was there until I got to weld. And I think what happened is the heat from welding pulled the crack open. I think it was there. I just couldn't see it. So now I got to weld that crack up. Yep. Alright, so I pretty much got all the work done that I want to get done in this video. So let me clean up this mess real quick and then I'll show you where we at. It's hot. Alright, so here's where we at on this deal. Turned out pretty good. Little body filler will fix that right up. Now it is bent right here a little bit. There's a dent there and a dent there. It's bent right in here too. But that's not gonna matter. All that'll get fixed in the bodywork stage. I think it turned out pretty good. Not perfect, but plenty good enough for the inside of a trunk lid. So for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way everything's turning out. It's coming along nicely. It's looking pretty good. Now that we got these areas finished this week, and this area is done, this area is done, I've got to get down here and fix this little rust hole right down here in this area. I got to fix that right there. And then I got a pretty good dent right down here in this area, right there. So I guess in the next video, the thing to do would be fix that rust hole down in that bottom corner, and then I'll probably save this dent for the bodywork stage. I don't have to do that right now, but I need to get this area right here put in. So this is gonna be the big thing on this project, and we're getting down to this. This is where we're at on it now. So next week, in the next video, we're gonna be starting on putting this, or getting the skin in order, and everything's gotta be fixed on the skin, and we're gonna get ready to put this big patch right here in. So if you've been paying attention, you'll know that there's not a whole lot else to do other than put this piece in. As soon as a couple little knick-knack things are done, we're getting really, really close on this project. So another thing, if you guys haven't noticed the progress on the car as a complete build, I know some of you guys been hanging out since the very beginning. You guys been following the channel since my first video, and I do appreciate that. But if you've noticed, there's not a whole lot of fabrication work that's got to be done. Not a whole lot left. I mean, we got to get this trunk done, and then after that, we're down to picking one of the quarters, getting it done, pick one of the doors, get it done. Then after the quarters and doors are done, I mean, fabrication work is going to be just about done on the car. Then I'm ready, of course, to start on the roof. And if I decide to chop the top, then I'll have all that to do. But I mean, you're looking at 2 quarters, 2 doors, and this trunk away from being able to put the roof together and getting down to the short roads on this car. But it is going to take some more time. It is. So if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I do appreciate it. For those of you who are here every week and always leave comments, I do appreciate that. I did notice in the analytics on my videos on the trunk lid project that I'm only getting like maybe a third, not even a half of my subscribers are watching this series on this trunk. So I think we're up to about 1,620. We're a little bit over that as far as the subscriber count, and we're not even getting, like I say, not even half of that watching these videos on this trunk. So, you know, I didn't really want to get bogged down on this. I know there's a lot more of exciting things to do. Everybody wants to see spinning tires and rolling through the gears, revving those engines and making fire come out the exhaust. That's what we all want to see, but before we can enjoy this hot rod, you got to get it built. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.